The Dream Gyokeres, the shadow of Spalletti over La Continassa, and a Club World Cup that is coming closer and closer and closer. Ciao Juventini of the world, my name is Giuseppe, welcome back on the channel, I hope you're all doing well. We have a lot of things to speak about. It's the start of a new week, a week that will actually kick off a Club World Cup, a competition that I couldn't wait to see starting, a dream of a kid. Are we favorites of that competition? Absolutely not, unfortunately, but I can't wait for that kickoff. But tomorrow there is something even more important, because tomorrow there is a presentation of Comolli, new general director of Juventus. He will speak. What will he say? What will be his first words? I can't wait. I'm extremely curious because it's super important. Also, the first judgments without really knowing Comolli are not really positive. So him speaking, him saying what we want to hear can help us also to support, to back him up a bit more. What language will he speak? Will he start with a few words in Italian? Will he start in an English that he perfectly masters? Or will he go with French? One thing is sure, he already started doing French things. The first thing that he did was immediately making Pierre Calulu permanent, and that was priority number one. Without hesitation, without doubt, calling Milan, giving them the money that we already, luckily, because that was a really beautiful move from Luciano Spalletti, agreed on Pierre Calulu 2029. And then the second thing was calling his friends, because he has a really beautiful contact with Campos, with Paris Saint-Germain, and telling them that we want to bring Randal Kolo Muani with Juve at the Club World Cup. And yesterday, it's Randal that confirmed him. I am extremely happy at Juventus. I will go with the club to the Club World Cup. For the future, we will see. But honestly, they welcomed me extremely well. I'm having fun. I'm happy to be here. And these are words that he already said during the season with the black and whites, but also it's a player that was able to show a beautiful impact. If you want to speak about the importance of Randal Kolo Muani at Juventus, not only for the Club World Cup but also for the future, just watch the game of yesterday between Germany and France in that Nations League, because you will see that not only it's a really beautiful striker, but also a player that can play in different positions. Yesterday he played in that 4-2-3-1, playing more on the right side with 3 amazing, crazy key passes, even more if there was not an offside of Kylian Mbappe that was cancelled. So 4 key passes. So it's a player that can play different positions. And if we will speak in a second about a dream that could possibly be Gyokeres, not only they can rotate and change their position, but they can also play together, and that's a beautiful thing. Can we have him more than the Club World Cup? That's the intention of Juve. They want to speak with Paris Saint-Germain to find the best possible cheap formula. The ideal solution would be a loan with an option to buy. Another solution could be a loan with an obligation to buy if some objectives are reached. But Juventus, they really count on the Frenchman, and I'm extremely happy to have him with Juventus. That's something that I told you. If I hear so many names of strikers where I had a lot of doubts about, well, that was a player that I really wanted to keep at Juve because he already showed something. Now, of course, there is the dream. A second one, and you know it, we said it yesterday during the afternoon live, that the one that is deciding the next striker is not Comolli, it's not Giorgio Chiellini, it's not the new sporting director, head of scout, it is Dusan Vlahovic. Will he accept the offer from Fenerbahce? Are the interests of Atletico Madrid real? Is Milan serious to go for him, and are they able to pay his salaries request? Let's see. This is something that we will have to wait for, but the dream has a name. And it has a name, Victor, but also a surname, Gyokeres. The Swedish player that is playing at Sporting is the dream, the number one on that list. Of course, there are a lot of other clubs that have exactly the same dream and probably more cash liquidity, more power, like clubs like Manchester United that is not playing any European competition, but also Arsenal. And pay attention because there is a new player on the Swedish player, and we are speaking about Al Hilal. For what reason? Because yesterday Victor Osimhen said, I don't care. 35 million euro net, 40 million euro net salary, I don't want. I have another thing in mind. The question is, what is Victor Osimhen thinking about? Is he thinking about going to Premier League? Is he already having some offers? Does he want to stay at Galatasaray? Is he thinking to go back in Italy? Are the contact with Juve that he had with Cristiano Giuntoli continuing also with Comolli Chiellini duo? Big question mark. So I don't understand. I don't know what is the reason why Victor Osimhen refused Saudi Arabia. Maybe because he doesn't want to go there. Maybe because after a year of Galatasaray, he wants again to play the Champions League. Big question mark. But that will influence a lot the rest of the strikers, because Al Hilal, they have no time to waste and they have enough money to invest. And the first two targets that they go as alternatives to the Nigerian player are Victor Gyokeres and Matteo Retegui, two players that are also on the list of us, the old lady. Big problem. Let's see what striker they will have. Let's see where Victor Osimhen will go. And let's see if really we can go for our priority, our dream, that is Victor Gyokeres. Of course, we cannot wait too long. And that's why Dusan Vlahovic is important. The decision, at least, of Dusan Vlahovic will be extremely important. So Gyokeres is there on top. We have Matteo Retegui, that is the Italian name that is there. The other players that are on the list, well, we spoke about it, and Jonathan David, even if today even more papers, even more journalists are confirming that Juventus is further and further and further away from the Canadian player that yesterday scored a brace. Another decision that Damien Comolli needs to take is about Conceição. Conceição, that we spoke extremely well about his first game in the Nations League. Yesterday he started the game and it confirmed something. Conceição is extremely clear that he's a player that is able to change you the game. Look at how he changed the game in that first game there against who they played. I don't remember, Germany or France. I don't remember. Anyway, he entered the game. He changed totally the game. MVP of that game yesterday. He played 45 minutes. The first one where he was totally a shadow. They were not playing for him. He was not that much involved. And when he had the ball, not always he was able to do something. So it's a player that, we know it, has a lot of beautiful qualities. But at the moment, it's not a starter that is able to play every single game as the one of the number 11s. So pay attention to that one. A decision has to be taken. It's or him or you go for another target. Do we have other targets in that list? Question mark. Knowing that Nico Gonzalez could possibly be on the market, could possibly accept another offer, the chances of Conceição will be decided during the Club World Cup. Congratulations to him, because yesterday he won that Nations League. Like, I also want to congratulate our friend Renatone Vega, that yesterday won it. He entered quite well, to be honest, really well. At a certain moment, even if it was offside, he saved a fantastic ball on the line. Mamma mia, I like the player. I really like the player. Not for 50 million, not for 40 million, but it's a player that I really like. Today, Italy is playing against Moldova. Pay attention, because also there we have big news, and that's where we enter the second topic, if not the third topic of the video, that it is the last game of Luciano Spalletti. On Corriere dello Sport you see the title, Luciao instead of Luciano. Luciao yesterday announced in press conference before the game that it will be his last game, because he has been sacked by Gravina. It was 1:30 p.m. when he announced it, while before that at 11:30, so 2 hours, 3 hours before, you had the Gravina that said, no, we continue with him. No, absolutely not. There is absolutely no intention. We believe in the project. We continue. 2 hours later, it's the ex, we can say it now, the ex-coach of Italy that said, no, I have been dismissed. I have been sacked. It's something that I didn't want. I didn't want absolutely to resign, because I believed in the players. I believe in the project. I was the one that wanted to continue with Italy. So it's the last game of Luciano. I tell you, crazy things are happening there, again confirming that yes, the coach was a problem. I didn't even want him, but it's much more than that. It's much deeper than that, what is happening with La Nazionale Italiana, because you have a Gravina that is absolutely not able to take the right decision. Yesterday, saying in front of microphones that he stays before actually, already knowing, because the day before you already told him that he was sacked. He wanted to wait. For what reason? And if yesterday you took that decision, you had to go in front of microphones. You had to take that responsibility, not leaving Spalletti alone. Yes, I am defending Spalletti on that one a bit, because it was absolutely not correct how they were managing it. But anyway, it is what it is. With the name of Ranieri, that has been sponsored by media, by fans. Guys, with all the respect to Ranieri, 73 years old. Guys, is that the best that we can offer? 73 years old coach. I like Spalletti. I'm thinking that he will extremely do well with La Nazionale. Extremely do well. Big one. Because the players, they will not change from one day to another. La Nazionale, how they are managed at head office will not change from one day to another. But I believe that Ranieri could do possibly better than Spalletti, because Ranieri is one that is calming down, tranquillo, instead of creating toxicity, because Spalletti has always been like that. Toxicity at Roma with Totti, at Inter with Icardi, here with Acerbi, with Locatelli, with that player. So I think that Ranieri is a beautiful name, but it's strange. You see the state of Italy obliged to call a retired coach to become the coach of La Nazionale. Going back to Juve, to our things, well, yes, of course, there is that shadow of Spalletti to Juve. You know it. It's my biggest fear. I tell you here already, and I already said it, but I repeat it. Spalletti is a name that until the day that it's official that he's the coach of Juve, if it would be, I will be the one that will absolutely be against that decision. The day that he arrives at La Continassa as the coach of Juve, I will wish him the best, I will support him, and I will try to be as objective as possible. A love between him and me will be difficult, but as objective as possible. But that shadow is extremely annoying. I don't want to repeat what I said in the last few days. It's a shadow that is really annoying me for a simple reason. Because Elkan called Tudor telling him, don't worry. And that's what actually they leaked to the media, to calm down all the rumors around Igor Tudor. The first days of Comolli, what comes out on the papers, that we confirm Igor Tudor. And we calm down all the rumors. But it cannot be that from the moment that Spalletti is free, because yesterday he said it, that he's free, that the fans, that the media are all linking Spalletti as the solution for Juve, that Juventus found the coach that they were looking for. Of course, if there was Giuntoli, he would already have been today in the training sessions, directing the training session of Juve. But Giuntoli is not there. So I need a certainty. I need really that they show us that we are convinced. And I believe that this is the first thing that Damien Comolli should do tomorrow in press conference. Instead of saying bonjour, good morning, or buongiorno, you should start with Igor Tudor is our coach. Or Igor Tudor is not our coach after the Club World Cup. But he should really tell us, really convince us that they believe in it. He should convince the players that Tudor is not there just for the Club World Cup, but that they can already start. They are obliged to follow the Croatian coach. Otherwise, we will have huge, big problems. I tell you, the players, what is filtering from them, and we hear it, Weston McKennie, Locatelli, Kenan Yildiz, and more and more and more. They're really backing up the coach. So do we want to go with the coach, with what he already created in a few weeks? Do we want to change? Tell us tomorrow, Damien Comolli. Because the Club World Cup, not only it is there a beautiful parade, but it's also an important tournament for prestige, for name. Don't make us look like clowns, like fools. And also think about the money that you lost in Coppa Italia, that you will not participate to the Super Coppa in Riyadh next year. Don't forget about the fact that we missed a lot of money for not beating PSV. That competition could possibly bring you a lot of money. 12 million is for just participating per club in Europe. So 36 European clubs will receive 12 millions. And then from there, every game that you win 2 million euro more. Every draw is 1 million that you receive. So winning is important. Just winning 2 games, you have already 4 million more, and probably a qualification that will bring you automatically 7 million more. You see? So 4 million for 2 games won, 7 million is already 11 million on top of the 12 that you already have. More you go into the competition, more money you have. If you win the competition, it's a max of 117 million euro, which will probably not happen. But more you go, more it's important. So go for it, Juve. Go for it. Think about it. USA. That's where Kenan Yildiz is, because he played against USA. He played a beautiful game, actually, but he will stay there. He will not come back to La Continassa. He will stay there waiting on the 14th that the players and the coach and the staff of Juve will join them. One that will go from La Continassa, from Torino, to USA. It is Gleison Bremer that is ready to start again training with the team. What a beautiful news, 250 days after the injury. Really beautiful news for Gleison Bremer. Unfortunately, we know it. It's a bit too early. We need to be cautious. Don't start him, and that will not happen. So don't expect Bremer in the middle of the defense. Who else will be there? Kostic, that should be there today in La Continassa. Rugani, after the national team, will come back and he will travel. 2 players that will be there at the Club World Cup. What about Thiago Jallo? No. What about Arthur? No. Even if at a certain moment you will also see them in Torino, but they will not play the Club World Cup. A last topic before closing that video to start the week with. Attenzione, because if there are some rumors of Gatti, if there are some rumors of Balerdi, if there are some rumors about him, ragazzi, if you want Leoni, it's the moment to do it. If you really believe in Leoni, it's the moment to do it. Giovanni Leoni. Why? Because Christian Chivu, ex-coach of Parma, that will be the new coach of Inter, well, he's smart. He says, I want to go for immediately 2 players from Parma. Boni, that was also observed by Juve, and Giovanni Leoni. I think that even if they leave him 1 more year at Parma, Leoni, don't let that player go. Don't let that player go. Please call Cherubini, Giorgio. Call Cherubini. Tell him he's ours. You want him 1 more year at Parma? Keep him, but he's our player. Don't miss on him. Don't miss. If there is 1 player at today that could have made forget about Huijsen a bit, because we will never forget totally about Huijsen, but if there is 1 player that will make us forget a bit about Dean Huijsen, it's Giovanni Leoni. So make sure that he comes to La Continassa as soon as possible. Ragazzi miei, please put a maximum of like. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Grazie, forza, Juve.